Here in Denver, we had some thunder and lightning earlier and a little bit of rain, but all of that has moved out, and at sunset time, it is another glorious evening. The temperature, by the way, is a little deceiving. It's 59 degrees, but there's enough humidity in the air to make it feel far more comfortable. It was 72 at this hour last night. For the Dodgers, seeing the sun come out, they hope that's a good sign after losing last night. Tonight, it will be the familiar cast of characters against a left-hander. Izturis and LaDuca. Olmedo signs at first. Adrian Beltre and Milton Bradley and Sean Green. Juan Encarnacion will be in left field instead of his usual right. Jose Hernandez will spell Alex Cora at second, and the pitcher is Jose Lima. On the mound for the Colorado Rockies, a veteran left-hander, Jeff Fassero, and referred to him as a veteran. Jeff Fassero is the oldest player in Rockies history. He was 41 years old back in January. Born in Springfield, Illinois, lives in Indiana, and was originally a 22nd round pick of the Cardinals out of the University of Mississippi 20 years ago. Started his pro career and worked his way up to the Montreal Expos in '91, and his high in '97 with the Mariners. He won 16 games. Those Rockies who are behind him and figure to be easy, well, of course, Vinny Castilla leading the way, red hot, as are so many of the Rocky hitters. And then you have Clayton, Miles, and Helton, Burnitz, Wilson, and Walker Johnson behind the plate. And so we have the pleasure of watching two of the top third basemen in the league, Adrian Beltre and Vinny Castilla. For the Dodgers now, Cesar Izturis will start it off. Fassero ready and deals, and the pitch is low, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Izturis, as he stands in, batting .300, 3 home runs, 38 runs batted in, and batting right-handed, hitting .325. He takes a fastball for a strike, and the count 1-1. Dodgers, in looking at their work against Fassero, Izturis 1 for 2 in the past. So Jeff, both feet on the rubber, looks down to get a sign, and the 1-1 pitch, a breaking ball at Izturis' feet, and the count 2-1. Jeff grew up in Springfield, Illinois, and he says during the hot summer days he had the brutal job of detasseling corn. What they would do is they'd go through the cornfields and pull the tassels off the top of the corn. Izturis pulls the tassel off the top of a fastball and lines it into center, and so we're underway. Izturis a single to center, and the batter will be Paul LaDuca. Fassero said you had to bundle up or you'd get seriously cut, and in the heat of the summer that was a very difficult job. Now the batter is Paul LaDuca, checking in at .304, 10 home runs, 49 runs batted in, has worn out Fassero in limited appearances, 3 for 4 against him. Paul hit a 2-run home run last night in the 8th inning. Fassero will look over at first, just staring over there, now to the plate, and the pitch to LaDuca is low, ball 1, and the count 1-0. Izturis with 15 stolen bases, and Fassero, you can bet, will keep an eye on him. A veteran left-hander, no doubt with a fairly good move. He's set at the belt, looks over at Cesar, still staring. Now the 1-0 pitch, that's in for a strike, and the count 1-1. So LaDuca has a look at Glenn Hoffman for the moment. Fassero has always been a good fielder, always. So it's almost like they have a 5th infielder when he's on the mound. He throws a 2-seam fastball, which is very important in this park. You've got to keep it down. Breaking ball is fouled back, and the count 1-2. Fassero with a 2-seam fastball. He also has a hard slider, and he uses a forkball, his splitter, as a change of pace. The one thing that is pretty dangerous for him, the fact that he allows at least as many fly balls as grounders. And of course, if you're a fly ball pitcher, you're not going to have much success here. So far this year, Fassero has allowed 5 home runs. Pitch to LaDuca is hit in the air to right center. Going back is Walker at the track and makes the catch at the 375 sign. And Asturias comes back to first. So LaDuca, a long out to Larry Walker in right field. Larry with 7 Gold Gloves, and he has contended with the setting sun out there ever since he came to the Rockies. That's one of the more difficult things about this ballpark. The setting sun actually sets in the left field corner, although tonight we have enough shade so that the first baseman will not be squinting, Helton and Signs, but the right fielder still in the sun. Now the batter, Olmedo Signs, and he takes ball 1. 1-0 the count to Signs. Signs against Facero. He is 7 for 11. That would translate to a .636 batting average. The veteran right-hand batter waiting. Facero, another look, just stares at his turret, comes back, and the pitch foul back. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So where you're starting game 3 of the 4-game series. The Giants and the Padres each 3.5 games back of the Dodgers, and their game will start in just about an hour. 1-1 the count to Olmedo Signs with Adrian Beltre on deck. Facero 2-6 with the lead, and the left-hander goes to first. Is Turris back on the bag against the Dodgers. Facero, who has been around plenty, and number one, we want to look up his record here. He's consistent. He is 1-3 here and 1-3 on the road. Jeff ready, and a throw to first. Is Turris back on the bag. So Jeff Facero, who has certainly been around long enough to know every inch of the art of pitching. He has tailed off considerably from his high of 15 wins. Last year he was 1-7 with the Cardinals. Fastball is high. 2-1 the count, but he's hanging on with both hands. Facero started one game against the Dodgers. Actually, he just relieved an inning. That's all. Check me. So Jeff looks in, getting a sign now at the belt. And the 2-1 pitch to Olmedo Signs. That swung on and lifted to right center. It's playable. Wilson and Walker, and Larry Walker moves over to make the catch. So a fly ball for the second out, and Asturias holding it first. So Facero is certainly true to his word, giving up a lot of fly balls. Walker and Wilson, the only difference on that fly ball, it was so far over in right center. That's the center fielder's territory. Normally he's the captain, but Walker had a bead on it all the way, made the catch, turned and looked over his shoulder at Wilson going by, and then they had I'm sure a funny exchange. Adrian Beltre takes high, ball 1, and the count 1-0. Beltre is 2 for 4 against Facero, so he's kind of weathered a storm. I mean, LaDuca was 3 for 4. He flied out. Signs was 7 for 11. That's a .600 batting average. And Beltre is batting .500. Facero delivers and misses inside. Ball 2. For Asturias, he's 2 for 3. So as far as the numbers are concerned, they have done well, although Bradley waiting his turn on deck. He's 0 for 3 against Facero. Jeff ready, and the 2-0 pitch coming up. And that swung on and fouled back, in the count 2-1. Dodgers will play one more game tomorrow here. Wilson Alvarez will go on the mound for the Dodgers against Jamie Wright. That'll be a 1 o'clock here, 12 o'clock back home. Then the Dodgers go to San Diego. And you might be interested, the Dodgers have won 6 out of 9 from the Padres. Throw to first is Turris back. Facero, as a veteran left-hander, he has learned to do everything possible to stay in baseball in the big leagues. And one of the things, he has always had a good move. And right now, he's tied for the National League lead. He has 4 pickoffs. 2-1 pitch on the way, and Beltre lifts a high fly ball to center, but that's playable. Preston Wilson staying in his own territory to make the catch, So the Dodgers hit long fly balls for outs. They lead as Turris, and Fassero walks off at the end of half an inning. No. Dodgers fail to score in the first inning. Fassero gets the job done on 16 pitches. Now let's take a look at the Rockies lineup that will be faced by Jose Lima. Aaron Miles at second base, followed by Royce Clayton, Todd Helton at first, and Vinny Castilla hitting cleanup at third. Larry Walker in right, Preston Wilson in center, Jeremy Burnitz in left, Charles Johnson, the catcher, Jeff Fassero will be on the mound, and we've already seen him. On the mound for the Dodgers, Jose Lima, out of Santiago in the Dominican Republic, and signed 15 years ago as a free agent by the Detroit Tigers. Jose is 6'2", a 200-pounder. Against Colorado, 2-1, and his first pitch to Miles in for a strike, and the count 0-1. For Lima, last time he faced the Rockies, they lit him up. He lasted only 3 innings, and he gets a strike to Miles at count 0-2. That was at Dodger Stadium. He went 3 innings, allowed 6 hits and 5 runs. Jose works quickly, and the strike 2 pitch, line drive, base hit into the gap in left center. Trying to cut it off is Bradley, but into second base goes Aaron Miles with a double. So Lima in trouble here at the outset as Miles touches him for a double fastball, and he just slapped it over a leaping Cesar Turris and into the gap. Bradley did well to get to it and cut it off and hold Miles to a double. You know, in the last 2 games, the Rockies have hit 6 home runs and 3 triples against the Dodgers. Colorado very hot. 13 home runs in their last 5 games. Clayton bunt. To get it is Lima. Bare hands, picks it up, throws in time. And on the sacrifice, Miles takes third. Although Clayton, you can imagine, was bunting for a base hit, I would think, in the first inning. In this ballpark, you don't figure to need a sacrifice very often. Now here come the big guys, Helton, Castilla, and Walker. The Rockies, since the All-Star game, have hammered 26 home runs. And in looking at Lima, Helton is 5 for 12 with a home run, hitting .417. Todd Waiting, left-hand hitter. It's a high fly ball down the right field line, racing over his green to the line against the wall, and can't make the play. Disappeared from our sight, and we had to wait and see what happened. So a foul ball down the corner, and the count 0-1. Who are the guys who have given Lima a bad time? Certainly Helton. Castilla has 2 home runs, hitting .357 against him. Burnitz is hitting .328 against him. And Johnson, the catcher, .375. Helton pops one up off third. Beltre coming over in foul ground and makes the catch for the out. Big play to get Helton without the run scoring. So with 2 out and Miles anchored at third, the batter is Vinny Castilla, and Castilla, among other things, has a 10-game hitting streak. Vinny has 2 home runs in the past against Lima, and as he checks in at the plate, Vinny has 22 home runs, 85 runs batted in. In the RBI column, he's only 4 back of Scott Rowland. So Vinny Castilla checking in, hitting .274 against right-hand pitching. Out of a stretch comes Lima, works a little slider in for a strike, and the count 0-1. So Miles doubled, Clayton sacrifice, Helton fouls out, and Castilla trying to bring him home. 0-1 the count to Vinny. Back comes Lima, and another cutter moving away from him, fouled off. So 2 sliders, and he has the count 0-2 on Vinny Castilla. A lot of veteran ball players in this game, but of course no one can fulfill the definition of veteran better than left-hander Jeff Fassero, but certainly Vinny Castilla will do. He's 37. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way. Fastball hit over the head and into right center, base hit, and the run comes in. That was a rather unusual pitch. He threw 2 sliders, and Castilla had fouled them off, and the last pitch just didn't have much on it at all. Even though LaDuca was setting off the corner, he got it too close to the plate, and Castilla singles to drive in Miles. So Miles scores on the single by Castillo, is now hit in 11 straight, and another veteran, Larry Walker, coming up. And for Walker, he fulfills the definition for sure as he takes ball 1. Larry Walker has now had 4,053 at-bats as a Rocky. Not appearances, at-bats. He passed Dante Bichette. 1 ball and no strikes. The next one over, and the count 1-1. Larry Walker in and out of the lineup with a bad groin. He's still getting treatment, but he is playing and batting .341. 6 home runs, 18 runs batted in. He takes up and in, and the count 1-1. The Dodgers are hoping that Lima's style will help them more than a curveball pitcher like Kaz Ishi, or for that matter Odalis Perez, because trying to spin the curveball in the rarefied air of Denver is no easy trick. So Lima giving up a double and a single, down 1-0 in the first inning. Rockies scored in the first inning last night on a home run by Todd Helton. The pitch missing, and the count 3-1 to Larry Walker. He'll be 38 in December and showing no signs really of slowing up. 16 years in the big leagues. 3-1 pitch is fouled off third. That will slice back into the stands, out of play. Spacious ballpark. 347 down the left field line, falling away to 390, 415 to center, 375 to right center, 350 down the right field line, and not big enough to contain major league hitters. So 3-2 the count, and the pitch now to Walker. Castillo goes, it's way outside, ball 4. So Lima has given up a run, 2 hits and a walk. And with 2 down, the batter will be Preston Wilson. Meanwhile, Jim Colburn going out to the mound to visit with Jose Lima. As you probably know by now, Jim Tracy has a very bad back, although the report is he is slightly better than he was the other night. And of course, one of the problems on Jim Tracy's mind, how do I sit in an airplane for a couple of hours flying to San Diego? Well, hopefully the back will be healthy enough to allow him to do it without severe pain. Meanwhile, it's been a painful first inning for Jose Lima. Lima kind of wandering around, walked down on the grass as if he was going to home plate with Paul LaDuca. And Preston Wilson checks in. Wilson hitting .400 against Lima. So Jose with 2 on, ready, deals, and it's up and in, ball 1, 1-0. For Wilson, he has 1 home run and 7 RBIs against Lima. Jose, right foot on the rubber, looks down to get a sign, now set. And the 1-0 pitch on the way, big swing and a miss, and the count 1-1. The problem, and it is here now and will be here again in the middle of September. You play a 4-game series with the Rockies, you're in danger of having your pitching staff shredded, and then the Dodgers have to go to San Diego for 3. Wilson squirts one, going out to get it is Hernandez, and backing away makes a one-hand catch. However, the Rockies get 1, a run, 2 hits, they lead 2, and at the end of an inning, Colorado 1, Los Angeles. Second inning, 1-0 Rockies. Milton Bradley hitting right-handed, tries to time a pitch and fouls it back, and the count 0-1. So Jeff Fassero versus Milton Bradley. Bradley has hit well in the series, 5 for 8, 3 RBIs, and hitting a solid .290. Fassero over the top, and there's a line drive at Clayton for the out. So Bradley hits it right at the shortstop, 1 out. And the batter will be Sean Green. Sean Green has had success against Fassero. 5 for 17, a home run, .294 batting average. Hitting .258. with 14 home runs, all over 2 weeks hitting .300. Green waiting, and Facero deals and gets a strike, and the count 0-1. Sean not hitting here, and of course this is a hitter's ballpark. He is just 1 for 9 here in Colorado. 1-0 Rockies, second inning. Next one to Green, fastball high and inside. And when you say fastball, all things being relative, Facero's fastball is 84. Jeff heaving a big sigh. 41-year-old into the windup, and the 1-1 pitch just off the corner, ball 2. 2-1 the count. Facero, 6'1", 195-pounder. He was 41 years old in January. Here's the 2-1 pitch coming up. Over the top, waved at and missed. Green badly fooled, chasing a slider that was out of the strike zone, and the count 2-2. Facero, as we mentioned earlier, went to the University of Mississippi. Long way to go for a boy from Springfield, Illinois. And the pitch to Green, high and inside. If you asked Facero about his college days, he said, well, I studied sports management in college, but I don't know what I would have done with it anyway. I just wanted to be a baseball player. Well, it's worked, and he's had a marvelous career. 3-2 pitch coming up, and it is inside at the knuckles, ball 4. So Green draws the walk. First pass issued by Facero, and the batter will be Encarnacion. In looking at Jeff's numbers, just to get an idea of how he's doing in the strikeout to walk ratio, he has struck out 45 and he has walked 30. So now here is Encarnacion. Juan, 3 for 13, just 231 against Facero, hitting 237 for the year, and he takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Encarnacion has 18 doubles, a triple, and 13 home runs. So 32 extra base hits. Green at first, held on by Helton. 1 out, second inning, 1-0 in favor of Colorado. Facero at the belt. Jeff comes back, and it's foul to the screen, and the count 0-2. Well, tonight a lot of clouds overhead. Consequently, no brilliant sunshine, which we normally have at sunset time, and I'm sure all of the players are relieved they're not fighting the sun, but at the same time it's twilight and the lights really haven't taken that much effect as yet. 0-2 the count to Juan Encarnacion. The 11th pitch made by Facero in the inning. Left-hander stares at Green, comes back, and Encarnacion, a fly ball into shallow right center, and coming over to get it is Preston Wilson. So the Dodgers are hitting the ball in the air, and for outs, and with 2 down, the batter is Jose Hernandez. So we were saying before the game, boy, if you're a pitcher and most of your outs are in the air, this would be the worst ballpark in the world for you, and that's Jeff Facero. I mean, he gets mostly fly balls, but he's getting by with it. Facero 1-3 at home, 1-3 on the road, but what a difference in ERA. Pitch to Hernandez, a strike. On the road, he gets the hitters to hit the ball in the air, and his earned run average is 3. At home, the hitters hit the ball in the air, and his earned run average is 7.7. 0-1 to Jose Hernandez. Facero ready and delivers. Line drive just fair down the line. Whoa, what a call that was. Encarnacion will go to third, and that ball looked like it was a foul ball even here. I was shocked. Bruce Dreckman, who was the plate umpire last night, and Vinny Castilla is pointing to the ground. I almost called it foul. And Bruce Dreckman was in some hot water with the Rockies a while ago, but let's see if we can see on TV where that ball landed. It lands we're behind the plate, and our angle sure looked like the ball was foul. However, The Dodgers get a break. We'll see what kind of a break it is. Clint Hurdle loses the argument. Earlier this year, Bruce Dreckman was the plate umpire in a Giants game, and Steve Reed was pitching, and Reed hit catcher A.J. Przinsky on the elbow, and Dreckman awarded him first base, and Reed came down hollering at Bruce, saying no, he made no effort to get out of the way. Well, they not only got into a violent argument, but Bruce Dreckman, because he threw Reed out of the game, Steve was suspended for 3 games and a bunch of money. Well, now he's involved in a big play. Now let's see how big. Little foul ball off the bat down the line. A sliding try by Walker, but he can't make it. The Lima is still there. Walker came so close to making the 3rd out. He made a fine sliding catch in the outfield the other night, but not this time. The Walker just misses. Jose Hernandez with a gift double to left. Green to 3rd, and Lima trying to pick somebody up. It's 1-0 Rockies in the 2nd inning. Out of a stretch goes Facero. Strike 1 pitch on the way is swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. Jose Lima, swinging the bat this year, has 4 hits, 2 runs batted in, struck out about 1/3 of the time. So Facero trying to finish him off with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Strike 2 pitch on the way, swung on, fouled off. So Sean Green standing at 3rd. Jose Hernandez over at 2nd, and his 1-0 Rockies 2nd inning. By the way, Bruce Dreckman appearing here in Colorado for the first time since that series with the Giants. 0-2 the count to Jose Lima. Facero delivers. It's a ground foul back of Glenn Hoffman and down the line. So it's still 0-2. There's Torres waiting his turn. Bradley lined to short. Green walked, Encarnacion flied out, and Hernandez doubled. And here's Lima with 2 out, trying to help his own cause. Facero reading Charles Johnson. Johnson shuffling his cards behind the plate. And Facero is ready, and Lima isn't and backs out. 0-2 the count to Jose Lima. Facero, another long look into Johnson. Now the veteran left-hander ready, and the strike 2 pitch is poked foul. That was probably out of the strike zone, but with 2 strikes, Jose couldn't afford to let it go by, so he leaned across the plate and fouled it away. Jim Tracy down 1-0 here in the 2nd inning. His Dodgers at 2nd and 3rd. Dodgers have won 19 and lost 5 in the month of July. 0-2 the count to Lima. Facero at the belt. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way at his feet. Could have been a wild pitch, and a nice save by Charles Johnson. Facero, by the way, has committed 4 wild pitches, and that could have been number 5 except for Johnson. So a big save. Of course, you have a Gold Glove catcher in CJ behind the plate. That helps a great deal. 1-2 the count to Jose Lima. Outfield shaded to right. Facero ready and delivers. Jose, it's a slow ground ball to Vinny Castilla. Plenty of time as he throws to Heldon. So the Dodgers got a break on the double, but Facero fought his way off the ropes, and at the end of an inning and a half, 1-0. 1-0 Rockies as we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. And it'll be Jeremy Burnitz to start it off. A red-hot Burnitz homered in the 2nd inning of Game 1, then came back and homered again in Game 2. So what he has done is homered in 5 straight games. So he is blazing hot as he checks in, and everybody here in the ballpark leaning to see what Jeremy can do in stretch 5. He has certainly stretched several pitchers in doing it. And the left-hand batter waiting, and the first pitch off speed and away. Ball one. 1-0 to Jeremy Burnett. Jeremy, by hitting in 5 straight, now has 25 home runs, 75 runs batted in. Check swing, no swing, says Dreckman, and the count 2-0. Since the All-Star break, Jeremy Burnett not only has those home runs in a row, he has 18 RBIs. That leads the majors. Big swing and a miss, and the count 2-1. And by the way, over at third base for the Dodgers, Adrian Beltre isn't doing badly. He's tied for second with 17 runs batted in. Burnett is one shy of the club record, but this time he hits a ground ball to Signs, who takes it to the bag, and we have one away in the second inning. It's 1-0 Colorado. Aaron Miles doubled, and Vinny Castilla on an 0-2 pitch singled him in. So Jose gets Burnett. Now he has a look at the catcher, Charles Johnson. Johnson 3 for 8 with a home run. That's .375 against Lima. Jose deals down and away. Ball one. 1-0. Johnson 11 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Looks at a fastball low, and the count 2-0. So Charles Johnson trying to keep it going. Another veteran. He's 33. 2-0 pitch on the way. Swung on. He drops to his right knee. Swung so hard, and the count 2-1. So this is very much of a veteran Colorado ball club. Burnett's 35. Preston Wilson 30. Larry Walker 38. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Vinny Castilla 37. Todd Helton's 31. Royce Clayton is going to be 34. So the one young player is Aaron Miles, who is 28. Johnson fouls it away off to the right, out of play, back into the crowd, and they count 2-2. But no matter what they do here in Colorado, no matter how many omelets they make, no matter how many eggs they break, no matter how long the good players hang around, the question is, how can they ever win here as Johnson swings and misses without pitching? And it is a humbling experience to pitch here. Remember Saturday, August 7th, prior to the game with the Phillies at 7:10, watch the Stars from the outfield grass, the Hollywood Stars Celebrity Softball game. Rob Lowe, Jamie Kennedy, Jimmy Kimmel, George Lobos, among the many scheduled to appear. Stadium parking gates open at 5:10, so get to the stadium early. Now Lima delivers, in the fastball outside. Ball one to Jeff Fassero. Boy, with Jose Lima, you can't catch your breath. He doesn't waste any time. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled back, and the count 1-1. Every time you have to read an announcement is like reading a train schedule. 1 ball and 1 strike to Fassero. Jose comes back high and away, ball 2, and the count 2-1. Fassero, darn the superstition. He wears number 13. He has 2 hits and 10 at-bats. He swings a chopper over the mound. In front of it is Hernandez, throws to first in time for the out. So Fassero makes the 3rd out. The Rockies go quietly, and at the end of 2, it's 1-0. With the Rockies leading the Dodgers 1-0. Hello, little guy. A great baby, maybe, I don't know, 18 months old, standing up in mom's lap with little baby overalls. Outstanding. And mom gets a little hugs and sugar. And we go to the 3rd, but what a difference. The other night, at the end of 2 innings, the Dodgers led 3-2. Last night, at the end of 2 innings, the Rockies led 3-0. Tonight, it's 1-0. And the batter is Cesar Izturis. He takes a slow curveball for a strike. Izturis single to center in the 1st inning, batting .302. Cesar followed by LaDuca and then Signs. Fassero into the windup, and the strike 1 pitch is a soft one hopper into the hole. Clayton makes a remarkable play, but too late. Royce Clayton threw that ball 25 feet out on the outfield grass, and what made it amazing, the fact that he actually threw it right on target. But Azurus legs it out. But it was a brilliant effort as Azurus made a reasonable play like that and made the same throw not in time recently against a left-hand batter. So Azurus is 2 for 2, and the batter is Paul Lo Duca. Lo Duca last night hit in the number 3 slot and had 9 men on base during all of his 5 at-bats. And there goes Azurus. The pitch is a strike, no throw. He had such a big jump on Facero. So here is Facero, leads the league with 4 pickoffs, and apparently Azurus was able to read him so well that even Charles Johnson couldn't do anything about it. And Azurus now steals his 16th base. So the tying run at second base, nobody out, with Lo Duca, Signs, and Beltre trying to get him home. Paul last night hit a home run with 1 man aboard. This time he beats one foul into the dirt, and the count 0-2. Lo Duca, a fly ball to right field in the first inning. Batting .303. Paul taking his time before getting back in. Olmedo, Signs waiting on deck. The on deck circle here, you're just about in your dugout. The outfield is big, but the area around home plate is not deep at all. So if you come up the steps of your dugout, your first step onto the field, you're in the on deck circle. 0-2 the count. And Lo Duca raising a fly ball, not deep enough for Azurus to advance. Wilson ready, turns and gets it back in, but Cesar had no thought of advancing. So that's a tough at bat for Lo Duca, unable to advance the man with a fly ball. And the batter now is Olmedo, Signs. Signs flied to center in the first inning. So Facero is up to his old tricks. The only man really to ground out was Lima, who hit a ground ball to Vinny Castilla. Everything else in the air. And you would think you would get killed here in this ballpark, and he has in the past. Signs hitting .316 on the road and $1.25 at Dodger Stadium. Right-hand hitter, the veteran. Facero comes to him, and it's a high drive into deep left field. Back goes Burnitz, way back, and this one is gone. And I mean gone. He hit that up on the walkway past the bleachers in left field. So it still holds true. If you keep letting the hitters hit the ball in the air here, sooner or later you're going to get hurt. And Facero is hurt. And the Dodgers take a 2-1 lead. Boy, that ball was hit in an area where Mike Piazza and maybe Raul Mondesi hit him up on the walkway back of the bleachers. So, I mean, he crushed that thing. And the Dodgers leading 2-1 for Signs. 5th home run of the year. A monstrous shot. Beltre takes a strike, and the count 0-1. For Facero, the 6th home run that he's allowed. So Signs, in the words of Jim Tracy, always gives you a thoroughly professional at bat. That's about as professional as it can get. The fastball to Beltre, high and away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So 2-1 in favor of the Dodgers here in the 3rd. Dodgers, by the way, have been hitting home runs. They've homered 19 of the last 21 games as Beltre takes a strike. They say that ball went 435 feet to the walkway underneath the scoreboard in left field. The biggest home run we've seen so far was a Vinny Castilla home run to center field as Beltre fouls it away. Vinny Castilla hit a ball in the waterfall over the center field wall. That was 447 feet. What a monstrous shot that was. Of course, Vinny can hit him out of Grand Canyon. 2-1 in favor of the Dodgers, top of the 3rd. Beltre flied to center in the first inning. Facero into his windup, and the 1-2 pitch change out of the zone, down and away, and Beltre chased it, and down he goes. So Beltre fooled. That would be the first strikeout for Jeff Fassero, and the batter Milton Bradley. Bradley hit the ball hard, but he lined out right to Royce Clayton. And the first pitch inside to Milton, ball one. 1-0. There have been 10 games decided by 1 run here at Coors Field. 10. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's inside, ball 2, 2-0. And by the way, the Rockies were 6-4 in the 10 games. 15 games decided by 1 run at Dodger Stadium. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way, and that's low, so Fassero behind 3-0. Now, in this ballpark, with a right-hand hitter with 11 home runs, you would not be shocked at all if they allowed him to swing 3-0 if you like the location. Pitch to Bradley, swung on, fouled away, and the count 3-1. You would not have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. Another thing about Coors Field would be the home runs here. 3-1 pitch, swung on, slow ground ball. Castilla has to hurry, picks it up and throws, and got him on a nice play. But the Dodgers get 2 on a single by Asturias and a bomb by Olmedo Sign. 437 feet. The Dodgers lead 2-1. 2-1 Dodgers, bottom of the third. A strike to Miles, and Lima jumps out in front, stays to a 2-1 lead. Aaron Miles, coming over from the Chicago White Sox, has done very well. Hits a ground ball to the right of Hernandez. Jose backhands and throws him out. So Miles rolls out, 1 down in the third. You know, the Dodgers host the Phillies Sunday, August 8th at 1:10. All kids 14 and under in attendance receive a free Dodger lunchbox, compliments of Farmer John. So visit Dodgers.com or call 323-2241-HIT for tickets. Royce Clayton, who almost made a big play, not quite, when he missed getting his tourist, and that was very important because Signs eventually hit with a man on instead of the bases empty. Clayton sacrificed in the first inning. Royce holds up, but they're going to check, and no swing, says Jerry Davis, the first base umpire. 1-1 to Clayton. Lima looks down, gets a sign, comes back 1-1, works it inside, and the count 2-1 to Royce Clayton. Clayton was a first-round pick by the Giants way back in 1988, and he's been in the big league since '91. Fouls it back. Royce, 34 years old, but still doing a very good job at shortstop. He's an even 6 and about 185 pounds. 2-2 to Clayton. Lima hides the ball for a moment, now turns ready and comes back inside. Almost got Clayton on the left hip, and the count 3-2. Lima trying to win his 10th, and he's leading 2-1. Now the 3-2 pitch on the way is chased and missed. Fastball down and away. Clayton went after it, came up empty. If Lima does have any edge here, is the fact that he doesn't throw that big 12-6 curveball. He just took care of Clayton with the fastball. Now the batter is Todd Helton. And watching pitchers here, their body language certainly would tell you a great deal. Helton fouled out with a runner at third in the first inning and takes a strike. 0-1. Kazashi, he'd throw that slow curve and somebody would hit it a mile and his shoulders would just sag. Line drive foul into the chairs, and the count 0-2. Last night, Odalis Perez threw a curveball and Jeremy Burnett's hit it in the left field stands, and Odalis threw his hands in the air as if to say, what can I do here? Strike two pitch is golfed into left field. In fact, it's in the gap. Over to get it is Encarnacion, and into second base goes Helton with a double. Todd Helton can hit him any way and anywhere. And so Lima gives up the double, and Vinny Castilla coming up. The pitch to Helton was almost in the dirt. Not quite, but inches from the dirt, and he doubles to left. Now Vinny Castilla, who had a no-ball, 2-strike count in the first inning and single to right. He scored Miles. Now he's trying to score Helton and tie it up. Lima's fastball is swung on and missed 0-1. So no big 12-6 curveball tonight. 0-1 the count to Vinny. Vinny lives in nearby Littleton, Colorado. Born in Mexico, as I'm sure you know. Strike one pitch down and away, and a good movement by Paul LaDuca to chase that slider and keep it in the mitt. Vinny was a soccer player in high school, played squash too, but his dad played baseball and he wanted to follow in his father's footsteps. 1 ball and 1 strike. Back comes Lima, outside, ball 2, and the count 2-1. So Helton, who lifted one out of the dirt to double, now representing the tying run at second, 2 down. Larry Walker on deck. Lima at the belt. The 2-1 pitch is low, gets away from LaDuca, and Helton goes to third. So LaDuca, who saved him on a slider, couldn't save him that time, and it gets away. For Jose Lima, if indeed it is ruled a wild pitch, it would be his third. So now the tying run is 90 feet away. So Lima having to bow his neck here. 3-1 to Vinny Castilla, and you know he's hitting if it's around the zone. Vinny 86 runs batted in. Here comes Lima, and the fastball is up and in for ball 4. So Larry Walker, who drew a walk in the first inning, will now check in with 2 on, 2 out, and the Dodgers leading 2-1 here in the third inning. Walker, the frustrated hockey player. Oh, how he wanted to be a goalie in the NHL. Instead, he's had a brilliant year in the big leagues. 16 years. Came up with the Expos. Here comes Lima's first one, and it's outside, ball 1, 1-0. Yeah, Larry is a long way from the job he once had, minimum wage, working in a bowling alley, setting up pins in British Columbia. He takes inside now, so Lima's behind 2-0. Not only did Walker chase pins and set them up, he said he also cooked burgers. I mean, he was triple threat in the bowling alley. 2-0 to Larry. Didn't play baseball. His high school team didn't have a team as high school. 2-0 pitch on the way, and that's in there. 2-1 to count. So Jose Lima got the first 2 outs, made what he thought was a great pitch, and Helton golfed it for a double. Then he went 3-1 and walked Castilla. Now he is behind 3-1 to Walker, and Preston Wilson on deck. Dodgers 2, Rockies 1, 2 out, bottom of the third. Lima ready, Walker waiting. Now Jose off the rubber for the moment. Castilla barely off the bag at first. The pitch to Walker is fouled away, and the count 3-2. There must be storms all around Denver. We have a lot of clouds overhead, and of course it's a magnificent show at sunset. It would not appear to be too threatening as far as interfering with the play of the game. So Walker 3-2. Castilla will be going. Helton waiting at third. Lima looking into LaDuca. Now Jose ready. 3-2 pitch. Castilla goes hard, ground ball to Signs. Olmedo stays with it, takes it to the bag. Lima falls down, running over to cover, but he wasn't in the play anyway, although he had to be a little embarrassed. So no runs, 1 hit, 2 left. Hard ground ball and a big play by Olmedo signs to keep it 2-1 Dodgers. Two to one in favor of the Dodgers. Top of the 4th. Ball 1 to Shawn Green, who walked in the 2nd inning and got as far as 3rd. Shawn 14 home runs, 53 runs batted in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shawn 1 for 9, and he got that base hit in the first game. He really ripped a double into the right field corner. This time a fly ball down the line. Castilla going one way, Burnitz the other. Neither man can make a play. So 1-2 the count to Shawn Green. Tomorrow, the concluding game of the series, Wilson Alvarez and Jamie Wright. The Rockies have been giving the Dodgers a bad time. Going head to head, they have split the 10 meetings. Dodgers have an edge with every other team in the Western Division. And that just over Clayton's glove. So Green comes up with a base hit to lead off matters in the 4th inning. Shawn got that slow curveball, waited on it long enough, and Clayton up the ladder almost got the glove on it. So Royce has been everywhere, doing a terrific job at shortstop in the series. And the batter Juan Encarnacion, who flied to right field in the 2nd inning. Slow spinner in for a strike, 0-1. The Dodgers are 7-6 over the Giants, 6-3 with San Diego, 11-2 with Arizona, but only 5-5 with the Rockies. In the dirt, nice save by Charles Johnson. As you can see, the Dodgers have piled them up pretty well. 29 victories, 29 out of 45. However, San Diego and the Giants right there, and they figure to be right there all the way to the wire. The Dodgers will come back here the middle of September. Dodgers will be here September 17th, 18th, and 19th. And then after 3 tough games at Coors Field, they will then go to San Diego for 3, and for good measure, San Francisco for 3. And they will still not be finished with Colorado. The Rockies will be at Dodger Stadium. There goes Green. Half swing, pitch in the dirt for a strike, and Green got a great jump. So it's amazing. Coming in, you're talking about the fact that Jeff Fassero leads the league in pickoffs. He has 4, and the 2 men who have tried to run, there's no contest because Fassero lifts that left leg, and his tourist stole easily without a throw. Same thing for Green. So Encarnacion trying to pick him up. 1-2 in the dirt, but Johnson pushed it out to keep the play in front. 2-2. Just to conclude the thought about the Rockies, not only do we come here on the 17th, the Rockies will come to Dodger Stadium the last week of the season, starting September 27th, 4 with Colorado, and then the weekend with the Giants, and that will be that, or will it? We'll see. 2-1 Dodgers. Green at second. Nobody out here in the fourth. Fastball at the ankles. So 3-2 the count to Juan Encarnacion. Jose Hernandez on deck. Encarnacion 1 for 10 in the series, so his average has dropped to 236. Fouled on his foot. Timeout. Juan, who is so quiet, maybe the quietest player on the team. Jose Hernandez waiting and watching. They all go through that. The only thing you can bet 99.9% of the time, it is the front foot that gets the foul. 3-2. In the dirt, blocked again by Johnson. So Encarnacion takes the walk. Dodgers at first and second, nobody out, and Jose Hernandez coming up. We have a minute. We can duck in our Aflac trivia question. Aflac. And here we are. Jeremy Benitez has homered in 5 straight. Who holds the Dodgers record for home runs in consecutive games? Have any idea? Well, we'll give you the answer in a little while. Hernandez doubled in the second inning. Off speed, drops in for a strike. Little curveball. 0-1. Jose batting .301. And that's going to be pulled to Castilla, who goes down to second. The throw to first, not in time. And at second base, they are now ruling, Greg Gibson is, that Aaron Miles apparently was not on the bag when he got Vinny Castilla's throw. So let's take another look at that. The Dodgers now have the bases loaded. And Clint Hurdle is out there. There's the chopper to Castilla. What Miles was doing in the blink of an eye, it looked like he was straddling second base. It didn't look like he was standing on the bag. From this angle, see him straddling? He didn't touch the bag. Unless that left foot grazed it right there. So Gibson was there to see it. And the Dodgers now have the bases loaded. They might very well give Miles an error for missing the bag. So the Dodgers get a huge break. Let's see what they can do with it. As Hernandez reaches on what now is a fielder's choice. Lima chasing that slow curveball, almost fell on his helmet. So Aaron Miles last night made a tremendous double play, and tonight just straddles the bag and never touches it. And Greg Gibson, the umpire, made a very, very good call. Little ground ball to Castilla. He'll go to the plate. They get one. He'll go to first. They'll get two. I have always wondered, bases loaded, nobody out, and you have a pitcher coming up. I've always wondered why you would even let him swing. In fact, if I were the manager, I'd send him up without a bat. Because the worst thing he can do is do what he just did. Otherwise, the inning is very much alive. But they all do it, and Lima hits into the double play. But the Dodgers, because of the break, are still alive. Second and third, and Cesar is Turris. So second and third and 2 out. 2-1 Dodgers. Is Turris, 2 singles. Breaking ball strike. Single to center and single to the hole at short. He also has a stolen base. Rather interesting sky, I would say, although we have not heard about any more rain forecast. And a little ground ball to Clayton. So despite the mistake at second base, the Rockies get away. Facero fights his way against a tough break, and at the end of 3.5, it's still 2-1 Dodgers. 2-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 4th inning. The Dodgers have been very, very fortunate tonight on 2 plays, and yet came up empty. Here's Preston Wilson. Back in the 2nd inning, it looked like Jose Hernandez hit a foul ball outside of third, but Bruce Greckman called it a double. But the Dodgers still left runners at second and third. And now in the 4th inning, Aaron Miles straddles second base, never touches it, to give the Dodgers a bases loaded situation, and they came up empty again. So here is Preston Wilson. Ball 2, 2-1. Wilson out for quite a while with a bad knee, but he is back, and the healthier he is, the better the Rockies are. Fouled away. The Rockies have played 100 games. Preston Wilson has only been in 38 games. They sorely miss him, but he is back. 2-2. Preston, the son of Mookie Wilson of New York Mets fame, and so it was only right, I guess, that Preston would be a #1 pick by the Mets at a high school in South Carolina. 2-2. Ground ball in the hole. Oh, what a stop, but that's all. But I tell you, don't you love these players who just refuse to quit? I mean, that was a base hit all the way, but Asturias was just not going to let it go by. So Preston Wilson got a high fastball and singles to the hole at short. No chance for Asturias to throw. So Wilson is aboard. Jeremy Burnett's the batter, and remember Jeremy with that 5-game home run hitting streak. Line drive at Asturias. He throws to first, not in time. It gets by Signs, and down to second goes Wilson. Tough play for a first baseman because Asturias' throw was right at Signs' feet, and you might have seen Asturias put his hand to his chest, meaning my fault. Line drive at Caesar, but a bad throw. Asturias should draw the error, and that was the gesture quickly to Signs. Yeah, I did it. So 1 out. Asturias draws the error. Ball 1 to Charles Johnson. So Wilson singles. Burnett lines out off the plate. Johnson gives you a nice strike zone. He's 6'3" and a big 255 pounds. Grew up 15 miles south of Vero Beach, where the Dodgers train. Fort Pierce. So Wilson, the son of Mookie, at second base. Charles Johnson facing Lima. Two and one. Now 3-1. Three and 2. Johnson had one very big year. That was 4 years ago. He played for both the Orioles and the White Sox. He had 31 home runs, 91 RBIs, and he hit .304. He hasn't come close to that ever since. If he is going to come close, it'll happen here. 3 and 2 to Charles. Ball 4. So 2 on, 1 out, and Jeff Fassero coming up. Remember the Aflac trivia question? It had to do with Jeremy Burnett's, and it had to do with home runs in 5 straight games. And the question was, who holds the Dodger record for home runs in consecutive games? And you were right on the money. If you remembered Shawn Green, I doubt you would remember Camp. 5 straight with home runs. 3 years ago for Shawn, and a lifetime ago for Campanella. So the Dodgers have to look bunt, but Fassero swings a chopper up the middle for a base hit. And here comes Wilson to score, and Johnson goes to third. And we have a 2-2 tie. So Jeff Fassero puts the bat on the ball in what the Dodgers thought was a bunt situation and drives in one, sending Johnson all the way to third and tying up the ball game 2-2 for Aaron Miles. So Jeff Fassero comes up with his 3rd hit and his first run batted in. Ball 1 to Aaron Miles. Miles hitting .305. Gave the Dodgers a huge opportunity when he straddled the bag instead of stepping on it for a force. Now he's got a chance to put his club in front. 1-0. Fastball strike. Miles didn't play with the White Sox but a few games last year. He still hit .333. In a full year at Charlotte in the International League, he hit .304. And he's hit .300 several times in the minor league. He's a good hitter. Ball 2. He also gives you a small strike zone. He's 5'8", 170. Two and one. Johnson at third, Fassero at first. Big chopper into right field. So that'll score Johnson. On his way to third is Fassero, and the throw got him down to second. Not in time. So Fassero is nailed on the throw by Shawn Green. Little surprised he'd even try to go from first to third, but he did. But Johnson scores. Here's the throw by Shawn Green, and it was right on the money. Fassero at 41 must have been feeling pretty frisky, and the throw was there to get him. Then Miles alertly took second. So Green gets an out. 2 down. Fassero had the big base hit, goes into the dugout, and the batter now is Royce Clayton. So it's 3-2 Rockies in the 4th inning. Ball 1. And the Dodgers are pretty fortunate. Remember that Burnett hit that bullet that was right at Cesar Izturis. I mean, you talk about being perfectly positioned. 1 ball and no strikes to Clayton, who has sacrificed, struck out. Miles at second, 2 down. And a bunt, a good bunt too. LaDuca can't make a play, but he floats to third, and they got Miles rounding the bag. Oh, a heads-up play by Paul LaDuca. A great bunt by Royce Clayton, but Miles rounded third. LaDuca knew he didn't have a play at first, and much to Miles' chagrin, he is hung out to dry on the tag by Beltre. What an inning. It's 3-2 Colorado. 3-2 Colorado. A reminder, stay tuned after the game for highlights of all of today's sports action. We'll present the Southern California Sports Report. Complete Dodger coverage and a lot more. The Southern California Sports Report coming up after the game. How big was that play by Paul LaDuca? If LaDuca does not make that play, there are runners at first and third, and Todd Helton the batter. So that was huge, and the Rockies lead is only 3-2. Ball one. Another look at that play. It was a very good bunt. Clayton gets a base hit on the bunt. LaDuca knew no play there, looked at third, and there was Miles rounding third. Beltre making 2 outs at third in the inning. He got Facero at third, and then he gets Miles. Little ground ball to Clayton. 1 away. So 1 out, 5th inning, 3-2 Colorado, and the batter is Olmedo Signs. Fly to center in the 1st inning and reached the walkway back of the bleachers in left field with his home run. Ball 1. Signs batting .239, but where he hits only .125 at home, he's a total different package on the road. Well over 300. 1-0. And ball 2. So Jeff Facero, 41 years old, leading 3-2 in the 5th. Got a base hit to drive in a huge run, and then tried to go from 1st to 3rd on a base hit to right field and was nailed. Ball 3. We bring that up, all of that, because we're watching to see if that has any effect now on Facero. 3-0 to Signs with Adrian Beltre on deck. And ball 4. So the Dodgers continue to get men on base. They've had them on in every inning. And here comes Beltre. Fly to center and struck out. 0 for 2. Signs at first. Beltre checking in, batting .326, 28 home runs, 73 RBIs. He is now 2 for 6 in his career against Facero. Drops that curveball in there. 0-1. Signs tying run held on by Helton. Time. No pitch. I'm not sure either Johnson or Beltre requested it. Probably Beltre. Adrian 2 hits last night, and his first at bat in the series he hit a home run. That pitch off speed and down and away, and that's the 2nd time he has chased that changeup. So the wily Facero trying to get out of it again. Signs held on by Helton. 0-2. Wouldn't chase one that far outside, but it was worth the count. Now it's 1-2. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Rockies. 2 runs, 5 hits, and the error charged to his tourists. One and two. You know, you have a right-hand batter up, and you look at Larry Walker in right field, and it give you an idea of how deep you play in this ballpark. I mean, he does not have many feet to go back before he's at the scoreboard. And that's with a right-hand batter. 2-2. And again, Beltre bites. That's the same pitch, same location that struck him out in the 3rd inning, down and away. That is also the pitch where, when he goes after it, it is the most painful pitch because all of his weight is on his left leg and left ankle. So Jeff Fassero really does some tough pitching to take care of Beltre. And here is Bradley. Ball one. In looking through 4 2/3 innings, Fassero has 2 strikeouts, and it's Beltre each time. And the same spot, same pitch. 1-0. 2-0. Of course, if you pitch Beltre down and away, and that's been the plan. Remember his first at bat, his home run went to right field. Signs, who walked, is still at first with 2 out. Bradley hitting .288. 2-1. So Adrian goes to school, a 41-year-old school teacher out there on the mound. Two and one to Milton Bradley. Sean Green on deck. 2 out. 2-2. Got that pitch in. Bradley couldn't extend, couldn't get any kind of a swing on it. So it's still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wilson Alvarez and Jamie Wright tomorrow at 12:05 right here. A hopper to Castilla. That'll do it. So the Dodgers get a walk and nothing else. No runs, no hits, a man left. 4.5 innings. Fassero and the Rockies lead 3. Rockies holding on to a 3-2 lead. And Jose Lima facing Helton, Castilla, and Walker. And that's off the plate. Ball one. 1-0. Helton fouled out with a runner at third, doubled in the 3rd inning. Pulls foul into the seats. What a hitter he is. The double in the 3rd inning is when you say he is not only a good hitter, he can also be a bad ball hitter. That pitch was maybe 4 inches from being in the dirt. So Helton fouling him off. 1-2 the count. Helton was 5 for 12 against Lima. And 1 for 2 tonight. Boy, he is up there hacking. 1-2. So Lima, who pitches in such a hurry, and Helton just kept saying, okay, you pitch, I hit. 1-2. 2-2. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Rockies. 2 runs, 5 hits, and an error for the Dodgers. Quite an inning in the 4th. In fact, it's been quite a game. Ball 3. 3-2. Finally got him. So Lima working awfully hard and finally disposes of Helton. For Jose Lima, he picked up his first strikeout with Charles Johnson. Then he got Royce Clayton, and now he gets Todd. So 3 strikeouts. The animated Jose Lima. Now Castilla single to right and walk. Vinny has now hit in 11 straight, batting .286. Ball 1. Castilla with 22 home runs, 86 RBIs, right back at Jim Thome. And that's hit up on the infield. It'll be Adrian Beltre. Foul ground, now fair. So 2 down in the 5th inning. And the batter coming up, Larry Walker. Walker has walked and grounded out, 0 for 1. When the Dodgers hit in the 6th inning, Green, Encarnacion, and Hernandez. No balls and 1 strike. Lima fastball away at 88. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Rockies have been retired in order only in the 2nd inning. The Dodgers have not been retired in order, and yet it's a low scoring game here, 3-2. Lima trying to win his 10th. He is 9-3. The Giants are in San Diego. Dustin Hermanson and Brian Lawrence, and they're scoreless in the 2nd inning. 3-1. High fly ball to left field. Going back on the ball is Encarnacion, but he knew it was catchable. So the Rockies are done in the 5th. At the end of 5, it's 3-2 Rockies. He was from Nicaragua. They called him El Presidente, and he was never more presidential than he was on this day in 1991 when Dennis Martinez pitched a perfect game at Dodger Stadium. Let's go back to this one. Chopper to Aaron Miles, 1 away. Dennis Martinez. You remember that game? He had 2 out in the 9th inning. The Expos were winning 2-0, and Chris Gwynn came up to bat. 45,000 people were in Dodger Stadium, and Gwynn hit a fly ball to Marquise Grissom, who was playing center field for Montreal at the time. And Dennis Martinez had a perfect game. And what did he do? He sat in the dugout and sobbed. It was one of the great pictures. Dennis with his face in his hands, crying for I don't know how long. Juan Encarnacion is flied to right and walked. Travis Driscoll begins to throw now. He's a left-hander. I think he's a left-hander. Nope. He's right-handed. Never heard of him before. 1 ball, 1 strike. Slow roller to Castilla. So Jeff Fassero has done a great job. He's got 2 out in the 6th inning. Tonight, with Jose Hernandez hit a shot down the left field line that was ruled fair for a double. Then when Miles straddled second base, he was safe at first. And yet, with all of those breaks, the Dodgers are unable to score in those situations, so they're still trailing 3-2. Curveball for a strike. 0-1. So Jeff Fassero doing a great job despite an earned run average of almost 8 here in this ballpark. 1-1 to count. He certainly gives the 41-year-olds a big boost here in Colorado. One ball, 1 strike. Two and 1 to count to Jose. Hernandez batting .298 and 1 for 2. And a ground ball base hit into left field. So the Dodgers continue to get at least one man on base in every inning. And yet they only scored twice. And that was in the third inning after a single, a home run by Olmedo Signs. So Driscoll continues to heat up in the pen. Fassero in his career is 4-7 with the Dodgers. Big curveball in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Lima came up with second and third and grounded out. Came up with the bases loaded in the fourth, hit into a double play, and San Diego on the board, leading the Giants 2-0. There's a little flare, and that's going to land, base hit. So with the outfield is deep, Hernandez easily can go to third. So you talk about hitting out of sync. Lima with runners at second and third grounds out. With the bases loaded, hits into a double play, and then this time gets a base hit. Just went out and down to get it. No way Clayton can handle it. So now, wait a minute. Here comes Clint Hurdle, and he's going to the pen. So Fassero went 5 2/3 innings, and he is in a position where he could win, he could lose, or he could have nothing to do with it. And it'll be in the hands of reliever Travis Driscoll, and he'll get a round of applause as Fassero walks off. Driscoll comes in, and we'll be back. Jeff Fassero did remarkably well. First of all, the opposition is hitting .300 against him this year. He has a record of 2-6. He has been clobbered here. His earned run average at Coors 7.7, and yet he was able to shut the Dodgers down right up into the 6th inning with 2 out. Now the ball goes in the hands of Travis Driscoll. Driscoll, well put together, a 6-footer, 215 pounds, and a veteran. He'll be 33 on Sunday. Born in Omaha, lives in Austin, Texas, has only been in 2 games and made his debut against San Diego. Driscoll did pitch for Baltimore each of the last 2 years, so they turn his tourists around, and with 2 down, Dodgers down 3-2, have runners at first and third. His tourists hitting .303, left-handed .289, and right-handed well over .300. So that was the reason why Hurdle turned him around by bringing in the right-hander. First and third, 2 out. And popped in the air, foul. Johnson coming back right by the Dodger dugout, can't make a play. 1-1. So in the inning, after Green and Encarnacion grounded out, Hernandez singled to left and Lima singled, sending Hernandez to third. And now Izturis is trying to pick him up. For Driscoll, a veteran, even though he has been with Baltimore before, he's only been in 2 games with the Rockies. Off speed, almost threw it away, 2-1. The 2 runs that San Diego got, home run by Ramon Hernandez with a man aboard. Foul back. Ramon Hernandez, the catcher who was so impressive against the Dodgers way back in April, who then hurt a knee so that we did not see him at all in the recent series at Dodger Stadium. We saw Ojeda and Quintero, but obviously Hernandez is back, healthy, hits a home run, and we'll see him this weekend. So deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Ball 3. So that means Lima's going. So Travis Driscoll, a non-roster player with the Rockies in spring training. Jose going at each corner. Lima and Hernandez. On deck, Paul LaDuca. Little nubber out to get it. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. And the Dodgers have tied up the game. And if you're Jeff Fassero, you got to figure what a way to lose a possible victory. A so-called swinging bunt. So Izturis gets a hit, a run batted in, a little worm killer that just stayed fair. Johnson and Driscoll praying it would go foul, but it stayed fair. So not only did Hernandez score, Lima takes second, and for Fassero in his long career, he's seen it all. Now the problem is he could even lose it. Lima at second is his responsibility. Ball 1 to LaDuca. So really the Dodgers have gotten all the breaks tonight, and yet with all of it, they're lucky they're only tied. The double on Hernandez a break, Miles straddling second a break, and now this little dribbler. LaDuca is 0 for 3. Fly to right, fly to center, grounded to short, batting .302. He's had a bunch of people on base all through the series. He is 3 for 12. Ball 3. Down in the pen now, the veteran right-hander Steve Reed gets up, as Driscoll is now 1 pitch away from loading him up for Olmedo Signs. And there's ball 4. So Driscoll got a tough break, and Bob Apodaca going out to talk to him. The Dodgers have loaded the bases. Lima, a possible go-ahead run, and remember, Lima belongs to Fassero. Signs coming up, hit one to the walkway back of the bleachers in left field in the 3rd inning with Izturis aboard. So Olmedo Signs with 5 home runs and 14 RBIs coming up. Driscoll actually faced Signs once in the American League. Signs 0 for 1, struck out against him. As far as grand slams are concerned, Olmedo does not have one. So Driscoll with the bases loaded, 2 out, 6th inning in a 3-3 tie. On deck, Adrian Beltre. And ball 1. So the Dodgers have Lima, Izturis, and now LaDuca all out on the lines. Want to know the count of Signs. Breaking ball, little roller. Here comes Castilla. He's got a little time to get out of the inning. So the Dodgers were very, very lucky to get 1, but they'll take it. They lead 3, and at the end of 5.5 innings, a 3-3 tie. A 3-3 tie as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Preston Wilson, Jeremy Burnett, and then Charles Johnson. The Dodgers squandering opportunities. They've left 9 men in their 6 innings. And now the Rockies. Wilson popped up and singled. Then Burnett, who is 0 for 2, and Johnson, who is 0 for 1. Wilson single to the hole at short and eventually came around to score on Facero's single. 0-1. So Facero's single in a bunt situation drove in a run. Lima's single eventually led to the Dodger run. High fly ball to center, but playable. Bradley is there. One away. Say, friends, the Sports List. That's the new show that counts down the 10 best and worst of everything and anything in sports. Tonight, find out who are the most intimidating pitchers. The Sports List with host Summer Sanders tonight at 11, only on FSN West 2. Jeremy Burnett grounded out and lined out. Cesar Turris playing him way over near the bag, and he hit it right at him. 1 ball, no strikes. Dodgers will have Beltre, Bradley, and Green in the 7th. Foul back. 1-1. Burnett's 25 home runs, 75 RBIs, has homered in 5 consecutive games. Ball 2. Lima right around 88, 89 all night with the fastball. Fastballs and sliders. A once in a while change. Two and two the count. There was the off-speed pitch. Burnett's out in front of it. Of course, when Lima throws his change, it's like a slower fastball. It's not like a Gagne change. He goes from 89 just to 81. So it is truly a change of speed, not necessarily a floater. 2-2. The Rockies are trying to win their 500th home game in franchise history. Look out. A drive to right. Back goes Green. He has done it. He's homered in 6 straight games. Jeremy Burnett. He went down and got it. That pitch was certainly below the knees. And Jeremy is able to lift it into the crowd above the scoreboard. And it's 4-3 Rockies. Couple of notes now. Burnett has homered in 6 straight games. The Rockies have hit 7 home runs in this series against the Dodgers. They have now had 14 home runs in their last 6 games. And the Rockies have hit 27 home runs since the All-Star game. And there's one other streak that he just as soon forget about. Jose Lima has allowed at least 1 home run in 10 straight starts. So with all those numbers out of the way, it's 4-3 Rockies. Johnson struck out, walked, and scored. Half swing. That'll cost him, and down he goes. So Lima picks up his 4th strikeout, but he's down 4-3. The batter due-up would have been Driscoll, but from the looks of things, he's going to have Jason Jennings, who is not pitching in this series, and Jennings will come up and bat. So a pretty good hitting pitcher, Jason Jennings. Strike. Jennings hitting .238. He has a home run and 4 runs batted in. And line to right field. So Jason Jennings not only a good pitcher, but he can swing that bat. So Jennings batting for Driscoll. A 2-out single to right field. And now the leadoff man, Aaron Miles. The Dodgers are telling Olmedo signs, I believe, as to whether he's going to be on the bag, and they also tell LaDuca to go to the mound. Jim Tracy has not gone to the mound because of his bad back the entire series. Tom Martin is throwing in the Dodger bullpen. So let's see whether they go to Martin or not. Aaron Miles has doubled, grounded out, and singled. We'll also have a runner, Sean Estes. So one pitcher bats for a pitcher and another pitcher runs. Estes. So Jason Jennings gets a round of applause and fives in the dugout, and Estes runs for him, and the batter is Miles. Aaron Miles 2 for 3. Royce Clayton is on deck. Miles batting .308. Fastball, ball 1. Four runs, 9 hits for the Rockies, 3 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. We're in the bottom of the 6th. A bouncer over the mound, backhanded nicely in the flip to Asturias. Boy, that nice little play by Jose Hernandez. However, Burnitz has the streak, his and Lima's. And at the end of 6, it's 4-3 Rockies. Call 1-800-NEXTEL-9. 4-3 in favor of Colorado, and it seems as if you cannot play the Rockies without seeing Steve Reed. Reed was born in Los Angeles, lives here in Colorado. Another fellow who'd been around. He's 38, 6'2" and 212, and has been pitching lights out. In the month of July, his earned run average is less than 1, and right-hand batters are hitting 176 against him. Beltre having a lot of trouble tonight, especially with that ball down and away. 0-1 to Adrian, batting .325. Struck out twice and flied out. Little roller foul. 0-2. Steve Reed was a Giants free agent out of Lewis and Clark way back in 1988. Then the Rockies picked him up in the expansion draft in '92, and he's been with them pretty much since '92, but he has left and come back. And a high fly ball to center. Back goes Preston Wilson to the track at the wall. It's in the water. Beltre hits it out, and the Dodgers have tied it up 4-4. Adrian's 29th home run of the year to get the Dodgers even. So Reed comes up and serves it up. And for Colorado, it's a shock because Reed has been pitching so well until that swing. So Beltre, a towering drive, a good 440 into the water. For Reed, that would be only the 3rd home run he's allowed this year. So the Rockies led 1-0. The Dodgers led 2-1. The Rockies led 3-2. The Dodgers tied at 3-3. The Rockies led 4-3, and the Dodgers have tied it up 4-4. Foul ball. Meanwhile, they're in the 4th inning in San Diego. San Diego has picked up an extra run to go along with a 2-run home run by Ramon Hernandez, and they're leading the Giants 3-0. That's Brian Lawrence for the Padres. Dustin Hermanson for the Giants. Down goes Bradley. Of course, we're talking about the Rockies have hit 7 home runs in the series. Beltre has hit 2, and the Dodgers have hit 2 in the first game. 1 last night, 2 tonight, so the Dodgers have hit 5. And here is Green. Walk, single, grounded out. Little breaking ball strike. 0-1. Beltre, by the way, was hitting .200 against Steve Reed. 2 for 10. Little pop fly. Is it going to be Reed? Helton says get out of the way. 2 out. Friends, get one of the best deals in baseball. The Dodgers Adelphia Summer Pack. The Summer 6. For $30 you can receive a ticket to 6 key matchups. The Dodgers play the Phillies, the Braves, the Marlins, and the Giants. So for more information and tickets, visit the website at Dodgers.com. Darren Dreifert up in the Dodger bullpen. Juan Encarnacion up at the plate. Ground ball up the middle. Base hit for Encarnacion. So Reed gives up 2 hits and a run. And the batter will be Jose Hernandez. Hernandez 3 for 13 in the past against Reed. Out on deck, Robin Ventura to bat for Jose Lima, but there are 2 outs. That sidearm fastball he snakes in at 84. Ball 1. Breaking ball strike. That little slider only 73, but it had just enough of a late break. I don't see it on his cap anymore. At one time 5 years ago, throw to first, not in time. Steve had CHS on his cap for Columbine High School. He used to work out on the high school field. Felt very emotionally involved. Encarnacion, they're keeping an eye on him because he represents a go-ahead run. He is a break-even base stealer, and that's not very good. Stolen 3, caught 3. One ball and 1 strike. Big sweeping slider, and Hernandez really chased it. That was far out of the strike zone. Of course, that's one reason why Steve Reed has been making a nice living all these years. 1-2 the count. When he pitched for the Padres, pitching coach Greg Booker in those days talked about Reed, saying he's a professional when he's working and a tutor, counselor, and friend when he's not. Not a bad credit to have. Steve Reed. Fastball in on the hands, got him. So after chasing the slider way off the plate, Hernandez is totally locked on the fastball inside. However, Adrian Beltre skies one into the water, and we're 4 tie as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jose Lima gave it his best shot, allowing 9 hits and 4 earned runs. tried to avoid it but couldn't do it as he gave up a home run to Jeremy Burnett's 10th straight game where he has given up a home run, and for Burnett's the 6th straight game that he's homered. So Lima giving that bat away. Maybe the bat he used when he had the base hit. He ought to give the bat away, the one when he hit into the double play. So in the 7th, it's Dryford now facing Royce Clayton. Strike. So it becomes a battle of the bullpens, and this late in the game in a tie score, you would say the Dodgers have the edge, but in this ballpark it's hard to say there's any edge. Dodgers with the bullpen that has been absolutely outstanding. So Lima got them through 6. Then they give the ball to Dryford. The pattern would then mean Mota pitched the 8th and Gagne the 9th. The closer for Colorado is Sean Chacon. 0-2. Ball 1. Royce Clayton has sparkled at shortstop throughout the series. Tonight he is 1 for 2 when he bunted, and LaDuca had no play but then found Miles rounding third. Clayton got a base hit, chops it up the middle. Izturis spears it, throws on the run, and got him. So one good shortstop nails the other on another nice play by Cesar Izturis. Big play. Cesar fully extended, going behind and throwing on the run. When you do, you usually throw high, and Sign stayed with it. Good play by Cesar. And an even better play for Dryford, because now here comes Helton and Castillo. Dryford and Helton. Helton hitting .273, 1 home run against him. Boy, went right after him, and with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. 0-1. Helton fouled out with a runner at third, doubled, and struck out. 0-2. Of course, no pitch is saved. Not if you saw Helton double in the 3rd inning, and Dryford knows it. Helton doubled on a pitch that could not have been more than a couple of inches from being in the dirt. Last time he was up there hacking on everything and eventually struck out. Ball 1. Helton hitting .337. With all of his swinging, he has struck out maybe 10% of the time, and he has 21 home runs. 2-2. Paid attendance tonight, 25,492. And they're seeing a whale of a game. Just missed. Slider in. 3-2. And on deck, Vinny Castilla. Castilla has not done well against Dryford in the past. Got him. So Helton, who does not strike out very often, strikes out twice tonight. Dryford getting him on an off-speed pitch down, and now with 2 out, the batter is Castillo. Darren Dryford slowing up and way down there. In fact, LaDuca caught it just about in the dirt. So Helton, who made that amazing hit, now pays the price. And here is Vinny. Single to right to extend his streak to 11. Walked and popped up. 22 home runs, 86 runs batted in. Right. Castilla 4 for 24 against Dryford. That would be a 167 batting average. But again, we're in Coors Field. Boy, that fastball was humming at 96. No swing, says Jerry Davis. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and one. That's the pitch that struck out Helton. Down and dirty. 2 out in the 7th. 4-4 tie. Dreifert is due to lead off in the 8th. One and two. Foul ball off the protective fencing in front of the Rockies dugout. Still 1 and 2. In the 7th, as Jim Tracy talks to Jose Lima, Trace had Robin Ventura on deck to bat for Lima, so perhaps Robin will be hitting for Dreifert. 1 and 2 to Vinny Castillo. Fastball just missed. On deck, Larry Walker. So let's look at the numbers on Walker. He is 6 for 12, 500 with a home run against Dreifert. So you would behoove Darren to take care of Castillo. And he does. Breaking ball, good breaking ball as well. So he strikes out 2 of the 3 at the end of 7, a 4-4 tie. The story of the amazing Adrian Beltre continues. Since the All-Star break, batting .409, 7 home runs. The one he hit tonight ties up the game. 18 RBIs. So the Dodgers, thusly inspired, will have Dave Roberts to bat for Dreifert. Big slow breaking ball for a strike. So the plan for the Dodgers, you know as well as I, Dreifert pitches the 7th, Mota will pitch the 8th, and they hope Gagne will pitch the 9th. Sinker misses. 1 and 1. So the veteran Steve Reed, after Facero went 5 2/3 and was charged with all 3 runs. Strike. Burnitz gave the Rockies a 4-3 lead. And then Beltre made it 4-4. Is Turris and LaDuca to follow Roberts. Dave hitting .248. Two and two. Of course, the whole idea is to get Roberts aboard. Dave has stolen 32 out of 33. Off speed for a strike. Dave can't believe it. He gestures that the pitch was off the plate, but he's rung up by Rob Drake. So Roberts called out. You could see Charles Johnson pull that pitch on the rookie umpire. Rob Drake has been basically a minor league umpire. Off the plate, says Dave Roberts, and Rob said no. Now is Turris. Cesar single to center, single to short, stole a base, scored a run, and then swung from the heels and hit that little roller up along first. Travis Driscoll let it roll. It stayed fair, and the Dodgers tied up the game. One out, 8th inning, 4-4. Fastball popped up. Clayton is calling. 2 down, top of the 8th inning. You know, the Dodger Coca-Cola family pack, that's a tremendous deal. 4 reserve level tickets, 4 Dodger dogs, 4 Cokes, and a parking pass for $48. The family pack available every Sunday and Wednesday home game all season long. So for more information, call 323-224-1-HIT. Somebody hollering from the Dodger dugout, and Rob Drake walks over and might be warning, and you have to guess Dave Roberts. So 2 out in the 8th, 4-4. Meanwhile, the Giants have gotten a run. San Diego leads 3-1 in the 5th inning. And they've now gone to the 6th. LaDuca flied to right, flied to center, grounded to short, and walked. Ball batting .302. Robin Ventura is on deck to bat for Olmedo Signs. Fouled away. So sooner or later, you expected to see Robin Ventura, because in his career he's been the toughest hitter against the Rockies all time. Robin hitting .410 against Colorado pitching. And Ventura appeared last night and walked. 0-2 to LaDuca. Wow. Pitch was inside, and Paul Still tried to attack it, fouled it off. That pitch ate him up. Stayed right in there. He's lucky he fouled it. And he just kept boring in on him. So LaDuca kind of putting all the pieces together before getting back in. Reed, to use the famous Campanella line, Roy used to say he'd be the type of pitcher to give you the jelly leg. Hard to hang in there. Breaking ball fouled away. So that figured the fastball in at the ribs and then the slider away. And it's still 0-2. Meanwhile, Jim Riggleman huddling with Jim Tracy. And LaDuca pops it up on the infield. Miles and Clayton. So Reed gets the Dodgers down 1-2-3, and at the end at 7½, it's still a 4-4 tie. Dodger baseball on FSN West 2 is brought to you by Jack in the Box and the new Finito, the only way to eat gourmet on the go, and by your Southern California Ford dealers and the Ford F-150. Here at Coors Field, we're heading to the bottom of the 8th inning in a 4-4 tie. Robin Ventura takes over for Olmedo Signs, so he will lead off in the 9th inning, and Guillermo Mota will bat 9th and pick up the pitching duties. Guillermo is 8-3, an ERA of 2, and he is in his 51st game. Of course, any pitcher who comes in here is under fire. Mota has only allowed 4 home runs this year, but anything goes at Coors. And Larry Walker, Preston Wilson, and Jeremy Burnett will be coming up. Larry Walker walked, grounded out, and flied out. 0 for 2. Walker batting .333, and the chant begins at Coors. Ball 1, 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Tim Hurricola along with Sean Chacon. Chacon is basically the closer. Walker 1 for 3 against Mota. Ball 2. So 2 fastballs at 96. And Mota in a hole 2-0. Larry batting .333, half a dozen home runs, 18 runs batted in. In there. Took a little bit off that. Of course, Mota's changeup would have been Jeff Facero's fastball. Mota's change 85. 2-1. Back with the heat. High foul off third. Beltre hoping it'll come back, but it won't. 25,492. Seeing a terrific game. Rockies led 1-0. Dodgers led 2-1. Rockies led 3-2. Dodgers tied at 3-3. Rockies led 4-3. Dodgers tied at 4-4. And here we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2-2 to Walker. Fastball hit sharply, but Hernandez is there. One away. Here's what's been going on for the Dodgers. They cut it close. Beltre's home run leading off the 7th tied it up. Cesar Asturias has been on base with 2 singles and a walk. And Jeremy Burnett hit a home run in the 6th inning, the 6th consecutive game in which Jeremy has homered. He now has 26. Here's Preston Wilson. Popped up, infield single, fly to center. Strike. Against Mota, Wilson 4 for 13. That'd be a .308 batting average. One ball, one strike. Preston batting .248. 1-2. When the Dodgers come up in the 9th, Robin Ventura, Adrian Beltre, and Milton Bradley. Whoa, what an express that was. It was 97, I believe, on the gun. Wilson probably thinks it was at least 100. I mean, this is a blur. Whoa, what a pitch. And now here's the man, Jeremy Burnett. He had grounded out. He had lined out. And then he hit his 26th home run of the year. Burnett is 0 for 2 against Mota. Drives it to left. Going back on the ball to watch it off the wall is Encarnacion. Gets it in a hurry, but Burnett is in there safely with a double. Boy, was that thing hit in a hurry. Burnett came so close to hitting it out. He hit a 96-mile-an-hour fastball off the paint in left field. And Encarnacion could only stop and play the carom. Played it well. But Burnett runs well, and he was into second base just ahead of the tag. So now Burnett's a tiebreaker, and the batter is Charles Johnson. Johnson hitting .257, ball 1. Johnson 2 for 12 against Mota in the past. That would be .167. 4-4, bottom of the 8th. Fastball. Ball 2. Two and 0. Foul back, 2-1. So it's been Facero, Driscoll, and Reed, Lima, Dreifert, and Mota, And the closers are still in the wings, Chacon and Gagne. 4 runs, 10 hits for each side. Foul back. And another 97-mile-an-hour fastball. The same number that struck out Preston Wilson. Wilson just walking back, shaking his head, and Charles got a little bit of it. 2-2. Whoa. Ball 3. Mark Sweeney is out on deck. Should Johnson keep the inning alive? Jim Riggleman talking to Trace in the dugout. 3-2 the count. Fouled away. They're in the 6th inning in San Diego, and the Padres are holding on to a 3-1 lead. That was Dustin Hermanson and Brian Lawrence. There was a 2-run home run hit by catcher Ramon Hernandez of San Diego. Well, I tell you, that's another 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Wilson couldn't catch up, but Charles twice has at least fouled it back. Guillermo wants another ball. Probably burned the stitches off the other one. Foul back again. So he's throwing hard, and Charles is getting a piece of it. He's made 8 pitches. The count's 3-2. So Mota's 9th pitch coming up against Charles Johnson. Just missed. So 9 pitches later, Charles Johnson is at first base. That was quite an at-bat, fouling off 97-mile-an-hour fastballs. And now here comes Mark Sweeney. Jim Colburn going out to talk to Mota. Mark Sweeney has been a very successful pinch hitter. With runners in scoring position, Sweeney is hitting .333. He's hitting .277 against right-handers. He has a major league leading 13 RBIs as a pinch hitter. He has, in his career, and it's been a long one, 59 pinch hit RBIs. So the Dodgers indeed have to go out and talk to Mota, who just missed on that last pitch. But it was a great at-bat for Charles Johnson. So Mark Sweeney out of Framingham, Massachusetts. Went to the University of Maine, has a degree in marketing. And here he is now trying to sell himself to Guillermo Mota. 4-4, bottom of the 8th. Ball 1. Sweeney, 4 home runs, 29 RBIs all told. Fastball fouled away. Clint Hurdle used a pitcher to pinch hit Jason Jennings, who singled in the 6th inning, and another pitcher, Sean Estes, to run for Jennings. And now he uses Sweeney to bat for Reed. $25,492 going right down to the wire like the ball game. They're not about to leave this one. 1-1 to Mark. Ball 2. Mota has now made 22 pitches in the inning, including the 9 to Charles Johnson. Two and one to Mark Sweeney, 35 years old in October. And now Mota is 3-1 to Sweeney, and the left-hand hitting Aaron Miles on deck. 4-4, bottom of the 8th. Three and one. In there. 3-2. Pretty good off-speed pitch. In other words, Mota goes from 97 to a changeup that is 86. So with a full count, the runners will be going. Foul back. In the inning, Walker grounded out, Wilson struck out, but Jeremy Burnett's banged one off the boards for a double in left field. Johnson took 9 pitches and got a walk. And now Mark Sweeney is up there, 3-2, 2 down, and the run is going again. Burnett and Johnson. That's just to plant a seed in Burnett's mind. His tour is trying to bird dog him a little bit, but he can't leave that shortstop hole wide open either. Runners go, and it's ball 4. So Sweeney walks. And Mota, after getting the first 2 outs easily, has given up a double and 2 walks, and Aaron Miles will be coming up. Aaron Miles has had 1 at-bat against Mota in the past, and he had a base hit. So with the bases loaded, 2 out in the 8th, here is Miles batting .307. Fastball, ball 1. Looking at Mota's numbers coming into the game, he was 2-1 strikeouts to walks. In there. Miles, a tough hitter at any time, but at 5'8" with the bases loaded, he's not giving Mota that much of a strike zone. The Mota obviously struggling now. The double and 2 walks, and 2-1 to count to Aaron Miles. Fastball, foul back, 2-2. So a 2-out double by Jeremy Burnett. Then walks to Johnson and Sweeney, and here is Miles with 2 down. Two and 2. Ground ball, base hit. Burnett will score. Johnson stops at third. The bases remain loaded, and the Rockies now lead 5-4. All of it coming with 2 out. For Aaron Miles, his 3rd hit and his 2nd run batted in. The Mota gives up 2 hits, 2 walks, and it's 5-4 Colorado. Bases remain loaded, and here is Royce Clayton. Foul tip. To repeat when the Dodgers come up in the 9th. Robin Ventura, Adrian Beltre, and Milton Bradley. Martin still up in the pen. Todd Helton on deck. 0-1. Off speed. He changed up, got it in. 0-2. Five runs, 11 hits for the Rockies. 4 runs, 10 hits for the Dodgers. Ball 1. Rockies continuing to give the Dodgers a bad time. Remember, going head to head, they've split 10. The Dodgers come here in the middle of September, and the Rockies come to Los Angeles for 4 the last week of the season. And Mota obviously struggling, missing again, and they count 2-2. He has made 34 pitches in the inning after retiring the first 2 batters. Got him. He strikes out Clayton, but a little late. So 1 run, 2 hits, 3 left, and it's 5-4 Colorado. This is the way this ball game has seesawed all the way. First the Rockies, then the Dodgers, then the Rockies, back and forth. And now in the bottom of the 8th inning, it becomes 5-4 Colorado. And the Dodgers will have, among others, Adrian Beltre batting in the 9th, hitting his 29th home run of the year back in the 7th inning to tie up the game. So now in the 9th inning, last call for the Dodgers, Robin Ventura, Adrian Beltre, and Milton Bradley against the right-hander Sean Chacon. And as you can see, although he has saved 22, he has blown 7 save opportunities. So Robin Ventura with a .410 lifetime batting average against Colorado checking in. Strike. 0-1 to Robin. Appeared last night as a pinch hitter and walked. Off the plate. Sean Chacon, born in Anchorage, Alaska. Grew up in Greeley, Colorado. Went to Central High School. Ball 2. Sean adopted when he was 5 years old. And foul back, and the count 2-2. So Chacon trying for his 23rd save. And the Dodgers trying desperately to get to Eric Gagne, but they're down by 1. San Diego has added 2 more. They're leading the Giants now 5-1. Off speed, 75-mile-an-hour curveball. 3-2 the count with Adrian Beltre on deck. 3-2. High pop fly. Aaron Miles. So Ventura pops up, 1 down, and now Beltre. And how many times can a fella be called on to be a hero? Adrian Beltre had flied to center and struck out twice, then homered leading off the 7th inning to tie up the game 4-4. And he has had past success against Chacon, hitting .348 against him with 2 home runs. So that pitch away, 0-1 the count. Slider. On deck, Milton Bradley. Bradley in the past 0 for 3 against Chacon. Fouled away. So Beltre in a hole now. No balls, 2 strikes. Everybody hanging on here. Tough ball game. 5-4 Colorado. Trying to go 1 up on the Dodgers and make it 6 out of 11. 0-2. Fastball and a hopper off the glove of Clayton. Beltre takes a look, and on that bad leg going for 2, he is in there. The amazing Adrian Beltre, bad leg or no, doubles off Royce Clayton's glove, and the tying run is at second base with 1 out. That thing was really too hot to handle. Clayton tried to stay with it, but it exploded on him. And then, bone chips or no, Adrian was able to get into second base and beat Clayton's throw. And here's Bradley. Curveball for a strike. Big, slow curve. So Beltre hot down the line and thinking 2 right away. There was no moment of hesitation. And the throw into Miles not in time. Beltre in scoring position for Bradley. And he pops it up. Chacon going out. Burnett's coming in. It will be Burnett. So Bradley goes a long 0 for 5. And they leave it up to Shawn Green. Shawn Green against Sean Chacon. Doesn't have much of a batting average, 217. But Shawn does have 2 home runs against Chacon. Tonight, Green has walked and singled, grounded out, and popped up. So 1 for 3 tonight. And in the series, 2 for 12, and Bob Apodaca on his way out to talk to Chacon. 5 runs, 11 hits for the Rockies. 4 runs, 11 hits for the Dodgers. A home run by Signs, a home run by Beltre, and a home run by Burnett. And now Gagne gets up just in case the Dodgers can tie or even go ahead. So Adrian Beltre continues his phenomenal hitting, improving on a 409 batting average since the All-Star break. Adrian with that double, it gives him 19 doubles and 29 home runs. And now they are going to walk Green. Even though he could conceivably be the winning run, they will take the chance. A lot of times you'll see them put the tying run on, but not the winning run. Encarnacion is due up next, and behind him is Jason Grabowski. So in a moment, the Dodgers will have 2 on with 2 out. One of the things to walk Green, of course, to take the home run away. Also, you give your infield a chance now to get a force play. Encarnacion fly to right and walk, grounded out and singled. Encarnacion batting .237 and 0 for 1 in the past against Chacon. Big slow curveball, dropped it in for a strike. 0-1. Encarnacion 13 home runs, 43 runs batted in. Beltre at second, the possible tying run. Green at first. 2 out. 0-1 to Encarnacion. Fastball, a chopper to Miles. That ought to do it. So Guillermo Mota gives up a double and a base hit to Miles, and the Rockies beat the Dodgers 5-4. The player of the game, Jeremy Burnett, who homered for the 6th consecutive game, his 26th home run of the year, and then doubled with 2 out in the 8th and scored the winning run. So the Rockies have now won 2 out of 3. They have beaten the Dodgers 6 out of 11, and tomorrow the Dodgers trying for a split will give the ball to Wilson Alvarez against Jamie Wright. And we will leave you with one other note. San Diego is leading San Francisco 8-1. So it figures the Padres will be 2.5 games back of the Dodgers by tomorrow. Once again, the final score: Rockies 5, Dodgers 4. For Ross Porter and Rick Monday, this is Vin Scully saying so long from Denver.